to the metal when I'm getting to the bag, ayy. Got the foot on the gas, pedal to the metal when the lane moving fast, ayy, ayy. Let them all cross. If they hate, then let them hate and make a bigger boss, ayy.
This episode is brought to you by SPI Logistics, the premier freight agent logistics firm in North America. For over 40 years, SPI has been diligently building the most successful freight agent network to provide first-class relationships for our shippers, receivers, and carrier partners. We are more than another transportation network. We are a dedicated team of professionals united by one singular purpose, and that is to expedite our agent success. All of our agents are set up for success on day one, as they are provided with a full suite of support staff that is ready to assist them with everything from after-hours emergencies to financial and administrative needs on a no-fee basis. This way, you can focus on continuing to grow your business. There is no financial risk to start, and you have the ability to earn up to 75% in commissions. If you are looking to take control of your financial future and build your business with the backing of one of the most successful logistics firms in North America, visit www.spi3pl.com to learn more. Do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Hey guys, before we jump into the episode, I wanted to let you know it is brought to you by Revenova, the official TMS provider for the Freight Coach. You guys, I've been a broker for a long time, and the tools that are at your disposal with Revenova help you eliminate bouncing between systems, which improves your accuracy when you are managing multiple tasks throughout your workday. Plus, it's built into the Salesforce cloud, so your CRM is fully integrated with your TMS, eliminating yet another silo. In today's day and age, you are definitely concerned about the safety of your data. With Revenova, it's fully protected. They have cutting-edge security that keeps your information safe so you can focus on what matters most, and that's growing your business. Speaking of growing your business, with Rate and Lane IQ, you get real-time pricing and route recommendations, helping you optimize costs and improve operational efficiencies, which ultimately helps you make smarter decisions. If you are like me and have recurring shipments from non-EDI customers, they have intuitive cloning features that let you easily replicate previous shipments, saving both shipper and carrier rates with just a few taps. If you are ready to learn more, visit www.revenova.com to request a demo. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Podcast, the top podcast in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. But most importantly, you guys provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I do say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak with transportation professionals, because at the end of the day, you guys, I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do, or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Got a solo show today. Got some headlines I'm going to break down, and got a little bit of a Tuesday training topic to drop on you guys this morning. And but before we get into any of that, you guys, just a quick reminder. Every single Wednesday, we drop the Freight Coach newsletter. If you want in on it, I need you to go to my website, thefreightcoach.com, to automatically register for it. I do that because I don't want to just spam people at the end of the day. So if you want to get in on it, it drops once a week. We talk about the market, we talk about diesel prices, and we talk about transportation. And that's it, you guys, because frankly, I don't want to talk about anything else out there. There's enough negativity in the world, and I just want to try and add value out there to the industry in another form. So if you want to go to that, go to thefreightcoach.com to check that out. It will drop tomorrow. But today, again, solo show. And I'm going to be doing a little bit more of these, probably once a week or once every other week. I know we did a couple of them last week because, you guys, I only have real professionals on this show, and sometimes people's schedules changes and we got to move some stuff around here. But, I want to bring back more of that dedicated once a week or once every other week show of just tangible strategy and stuff that we do personally inside of my organization. And, again, there's a lot of people out there who are looking for guidance and looking for help, and, and then also I think looking for some reassurance that they're not alone and they're not going crazy with how slow everything is. And, when I had my friend Ken Adamo with DAT on the show yesterday, I mean, he laid a lot of great information out there, you guys. And, I've been saying this for a while, and I'm going to continue to say this. I am approaching this next 12 months in freight that like nothing is probably going to change at a pace that a lot of people are hoping for like a rapid recovery or even a mild recovery out there. And I say that not to be a pessimistic individual. I'm just trying to be real, and I'm trying to help people avoid the waiting for something to happen before they are like gonna go out there and take action for it, right? So it's like, again, we talk about building a strategy to follow and, every single day to develop business, whether that's 40, 50, 60, whatever amount of calls that you got to make in a day, you got to choose something and stick with this. And, my little training topic that we're going to be talking about today is Corey Buchan, happy Taco Tuesday. He says, Sunny Sharma, good morning, gang. Good Tuesday morning, gang, he says out there. But our little Tuesday training topic that we're going to be bringing up is inspired by a friend of mine's post this morning. He is a shipper. He's been on this show before. No, I'm not going to tell you what his name is because you guys got to do your own research. But he's a friend of mine. He's been on the show. His name's Paul. I'll give you guys that. And he dropped some really good knowledge this morning. And this is something that I want you guys all to look at from your business development standpoint, because I'm constantly looking at how are we approaching our shippers. And, the strategy that we follow is where are we at in the sales process, right? Like initial phone call, like I've never actually talked to him before. It's value only. Like it's very short. It's very to the point. And, he put a post out there this morning, that it's about kind of like saying that you're the best at everything, right? And we talk about this on the show often he's like, we hear a lot about how we can do the lower 48, 99% on time delivery, sleet, snow, tsunami, DOT, 24/7, sound familiar? And then he goes on to say, as someone who's received hundreds of carrier sales decks and email pitches, this is one of the biggest red flags I see. Again, overpromising. Here's why. When you claim that to be everything to everyone, shippers hear one thing: we're going to overpromise and underdeliver. His words, not mine. And that's the fastest way to get booted from a shipper's network. Instead, go into a sales call with a plan. Do your research. Look at the load boards. You can often connect the dots: shipper, receiver, equipment needs. Match their needs to your network. It fits your power lanes. Where do you have excess capacity? Where are you in the sweet spot? Lead with specificity. Show them exactly where you can add value before you even try and get a meeting scheduled. And then he goes on to say the carriers who grow aren't the ones pitching 48 states 24/7, 365. They're the ones who know their lanes, their strengths, and align them with the shipper's needs. Don't try and be the best at everything. And, when we're out there and we're talking about this, you guys, so again, we talk about this on the show. And, Paul is a really good friend of mine. We connected through the social media world. He's been on this show. You guys can go back and find him. He's done a couple of episodes on here, you guys. And he did a lot of Ask a Shipper Anything stuff because he genuinely wants to help individuals out there. And no, that doesn't mean to go out there and prospect him. But like you guys, he's telling you what the overwhelming majority of people do. The overwhelming majority of people are, we're the best at everything. We can do everything. Give us all of your freight. Don't worry about it. And it's very generic, and that's how you don't really gain any traction. And, this is why I talk about being a niche-based broker. My friend Sunny Sharma, who's been on the show before, he's a longtime listener. He does proteins, right? Like that's his niche. My friend Cody Kaler, who's been on the show, he does a produce show with me because he really only does produce and food at the end of the day. My man Chris Brewer, River City Logistics, they talk about that. They do a lot of dry van freight. Obviously they do some other stuff now because they've grown over the years. But the most successful people I know in this industry do one thing really, really well. It's how we've grown our business since we went in and started in January of 2023 to where we are right now. 99% of our freight is full truckload freight. 99% of it is pretty much in open deck as well. We do some dry van work, but our core sales message out there, you guys, is that full truckload. It is that open deck. And it's very regionally specific too. So like when I'm out there, you guys, we move, and this is just based on the business that I've developed. We move a lot of freight out west here. Primarily outbound Arizona. We move a lot of freight up and down the eastern seaboard there through another customer that we onboarded early. And then we move a lot of stuff in the Midwest. And you look at that, you're like, that's kind of a lot of regions out there, right? That is pretty much the entire country. But when I'm calling people, I'm not saying like, hey, we can pick up everything out of Arizona and go everywhere, right? Like we're strong in the Western 11 from that region out there. And then with our, East Coast shippers, it's pretty much Virginia down to Florida. That's our region. And when I'm out there prospecting people, that's my main focus when I'm going out there, because we have lanes that align within that network, right? And just because you can do everything doesn't mean that you should. And I think you can really get in the door with people based on that, that real specific sales strategy as you're going out there, whether you have assets or whether you're a broker and you're trying to build it up. You just can't be everything to everyone. And that is a very tough stance to take when you've been told that you can do anything and everything, just sell everything out there. It's like, I don't do LTL at a high level at all. I've done some of those shipments here over the last couple of years, you guys, but it was with an existing customer who was having trouble, and they're like, hey, can you figure this out for me? So that came after we had moved a lot of full truckload freight for them. And then again, you guys, knowing, researching your prospects is so key. I think it's the most overlooked step out there. And it's as simple as like, this is why I preload 5 phone numbers at a time. I have the company's website up. I know I have a really good idea how their shipping is going to work just based on their product offerings on their website. So do something simple like that. And then again, focus on your strengths, you guys. What are you guys really, really good at? If you've got 15 plus years in the industry like I do, I'm not opposed to you going out there, and especially if you've done dry, reefer, flatbed freight, I'm not opposed to you going out there and developing that, but like tailor it to your prospects at least, right? But more people than not, I think, need to focus on one thing and really build that up from there. And then, again, being realistic, you guys, is another major oversight out there. Being realistic about where you're at, whether it's in the sales process or where you're at in the totem pole of priorities with your customers and prospects, you guys, it helps bring clarity to it, right? It helps not put too much pressure on yourself as you're out there trying to develop a book of business. But that's just a little training topic today, you guys. Take that for what it's worth. All right. Here's just to summarize 5 quick things. Avoid being everyone to everything, or everything to everyone, excuse me. Research your prospects, align your pitch with your strengths. Okay. Be specific in your value proposition. Why are you good at what you do? And then build trust through realistic commitments. All right. Do not overcommit and underperform. It is one of the major killers out there, you guys. So take that for what it's worth, and go win some freight with that, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys do, because there's a lot of business to be earned out there at the end of the day. And that's what we need to do, you guys. I want to see everyone win. All right. As much as I possibly can. I'm literally telling you guys everything we do inside of our business and how we have grown year over year over year since we started out from cold, 0 customers, 0 revenue back in 2023. Yes, it's taken a lot longer than I wanted. And it's probably going to take a lot longer than I want even now because of the way that things are going. But this is a strategy that I will follow as we hire and grow. All of my sales reps are going to continue to follow this because it's a proven strategy in my experience inside of the industry. And again, you guys, I'm just a guy who actually does the work that I talk about. Now we're going to break down some articles here. And we are going to lead in with the least shocking headline that came out there here recently. But this one was from FreightWaves. And it is that UPS extends its buyout offer deadline after low driver interest. And again, I got to give credit where credit's due out there. I am not the biggest fan of unions. I've been abundantly clear over that. I understand why they exist. I just don't think that they're necessarily a good thing per se, but we won't get into that today. But I got to give credit to the Teamsters at the end of the day, you guys. They negotiated a really good deal for their drivers out there. And, just to kind of put it into perspective here, I, just did some quick math here. And, some of these guys that whether they're making, they're $25 an hour base, $35 an hour base, or $45 an hour base pay out there, the drivers, which again, you guys, I'm not knocking anybody's pay scale. People deserve to get paid. But I mean, if we're looking at it, some of their drivers are no 100 grand before OT, and getting up. And this is if there is a, maximum of 10 hours of OT a week for their top base pay out there. I mean, it's like 150 grand a year, you guys. And now if you multiply that by all of the Teamsters drivers that are at UPS, it was going to come to this point, right? It was going to come to this point where UPS was going to try and get themselves out of this deal. And nobody should be shocked by this revelation that this is where they're at with it. And, because they are out there. So the key thing that they're trying to do is they are, they extended the application for his driver buyout by 2 weeks, now pushing it to August 14th. So in a couple of days here, due to a lower than expected participation. I think that was a massive oversight by UPS. Why would anybody want to buy themselves out of their current wages? The voluntary separation agreement or the voluntary separation program offers affected drivers $1,800 a year of service with a minimum of $10,000. Slap in the face. Like, let's be honest, UPS. Did you really think that was going to work? In addition to their earned retirement benefits, separation dates are slated between August and October 31st. Additional windows through March 26th for overflow applicants. Obviously, the Teamsters massively opposes this plan, calls it a violation of the 2023 contract, including job creation commitments, and urging drivers to decline this offer. The buyout aligns with a UPS's larger network of the future restructuring out there. And, let's be honest, they extended. I wouldn't be surprised if they extend this again, because I don't think anybody, unless you are like a month away from retirement and this somehow financially benefits you to like stop right now, I don't see a mass group of people walking away from that, especially in today's job market, right? Why would you do that? And then it's again, there's no reason to, like, you're not incentivizing these guys to walk away from this. It's like we're talking. So if you work there for 10 years, they're going to give you 18 grand. You work there 10 years, 18 grand, 20 years, $36,000. Like, come on, UPS. Again, I'm not advocating for the union here at all, but like, what did you think was going to happen? And then obviously that the Teamsters, it's a breach of their contract out there. They're going to probably sue UPS, start a lawsuit and everything else that comes along with it. And then with UPS is, they're trying to obviously restructure their entire network, would be my assumption here. Again, I'm not privy to any internal information over at UPS, but I'm assuming they're going to be closing some hubs. They're going to be doing some restructuring. They're going to be changing some things. They're going to be automating some things. And there's a lot of people who have jobs there that probably they view as obsolete in the coming years. So they're just trying to get ahead of it right now. It's again, I think that UPS, the Teamsters negotiated a really good deal back in 2023. It was probably way too much money that UPS didn't think at the time was going to have an effect. And the market goes down, things go down, things change. And this is where we're at right now. I think that this is probably going to get drug out a lot longer. And then UPS and the Teamsters are probably, I just look at it as they, okay, excuse me. It says in this article, they're aiming to close 200 domestic package sortation centers over the next 5 years and invest more in automation. All right. So it's right there, you guys. They're trying to get people out of the way. I think it's a bad look by UPS, if I'm being completely honest. And it's, one of those situations that the Teamsters shouldn't be shocked that this happened. Again, I look at it as the Teamsters negotiated a really good deal for their drivers. And now that automation is front and center for a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be without a job. And I think my assumption is UPS is like, well, at least we're trying to offer them a buyout here, and it's their fault for not taking it. And then they're probably just going to end up getting laid off or fired in the coming months. That would just be my assumption at the end of the day here. But that article, you guys, is from UPS, from freightwaves.com. And from our perspective here, you guys should go check that out and read it because it is it is interesting to say the least on what might happen out here. Now, another of my favorite situations that's going on out here in the in the world is this article is from ttnews.com, you guys. 4 top truck makers sue CARB and Governor Newsom over emissions rules out there. And this article, you guys, I think this is one. So like the CARB stuff has been going on. I think it was like 2012 is when it like kind of first rolled out, if memory serves me right. I remember that because they were essentially every piece of equipment within 10 years couldn't be brought into the state of California. I believe it was 2012, but yeah, Daimler Trucks, Volvo, Packer, and International Motors, formerly Navistar, filed a federal lawsuit in the Eastern District of California. They are challenging CARB, California Air Resource Board, and Governor Gavin Newsom over enforcement of emission standards tied to the Clean Truck Partnership. The suit urges that Congress used the Congressional Review Act to revoke EPA waivers for California's advanced clean trucks and omnibus low NOx regulations. As a result, the state lacks legal authority to enforce those rules of the associated voluntary agreement upon clean truck partnerships. This lawsuit hinges on Congress revoking that stuff out there, right? So that's why all these truck makers got all over this. I think the current administration has been very clear about their desire to roll back a lot of these green initiatives, we'll call it. It's just, this to me is it should never have been a thing. All right. Like living in Arizona, you guys, you have to get your, out west, you got to do smog tests on your trucks and your vehicles and stuff like that out here every couple of years. And, I look at it as a lot of things. Is it actually making the environment cleaner, or is this just another line item for the states to charge its citizens more money, and it's not actually doing anything? My knee-jerk gut reaction always leans towards that. It's just another way for them to tax us, to make us pay fees, to do all this other bullshit out there, to line their pockets even more out there. It does go on to say in here, the United States Department of Justice has issued cease and desist letters to the plaintiffs' OEM stating that those same standards are invalid and unlawful, and that only the EPA regulations apply out there. The Clean Truck Partnership, which was unveiled in July of 2023, is an agreement signed by the 4 plaintiffs. So essentially, let's be honest, they all got in on it back when the past administration was in office because there was a lot of green initiatives, probably a lot of tax incentives to do it. And now that it's gone, they're like, pound sand, we want out. And then it goes, it's just coming from the rollback out there. And then I just look at this, again, it's just another thing, right? Like the state of California, everybody out there knows what it is. It's an absolute nightmare to do business inside of it, right? Like that's why a lot of people run away from that. That's why a lot of drivers don't like going in it. Like the amount of drivers that I talk to out here, just in Arizona, who pick up for me in Arizona, like that refuse to go in to the state of California is like 85%. Like no joke. And it's like, you got to ask yourself why at the end of the day. I just think that this is just another thing. I think CARB is an overall joke. I know all the climate activists out there are going to vehemently disagree with that. But like, and one thing that this article was lacking was like from my perspective is like, how is this measuring if the air is actually cleaner from it, right? Like that's the report that I think is missing, is that there's no data in here that shows what pre-CARB and post-CARB environmental effects were out there. The ATA was among the groups praising this out there, and Chris Spear said, this is not the United States of California. President Trump is restoring the certainty that the trucking industry needs to deliver for our nations out there, and essentially rolling back more laws, because that's essentially what we need to do here. There's enough hoops to jump through, you guys, and CARB is one of them. And I hope this wins. I hope they repeal this, and I hope they do something at the end of the day to make it a little bit easier for these businesses in the state of California, especially in the trucking industry, to actually operate and operate profitably out there. But that article, you guys, was from ttnews.com. Check that one out. All the links to the articles that we broke down on today's show will be uploaded into the show notes for you guys to do your own research on it, right? Don't just take my word for it at the end of the day. Although I think I have a pretty good opinion on some stuff, but I don't. I'm not right. I'm not right all the time, just most of the time. Third and final article is, this is from the joc.com. U.S. domestic rail intermodal market share shrinks. I think that's just because it's probably cheaper to move it full truckload and you can get it faster than it is. Just quick summary without reading the article yet. That is my assumption, is that has everything to do with the fact that OTR is as cheap, if not comparably cheap, or in price comparison to intermodal, and they can get it a lot faster via OTR. So more companies are probably electing to take that route out there. And then the market share numbers from IANA. And speaking of that, I'm going to be at IANA's conference here next month doing my show from there. So I'll probably get some more information on this. Typically, the concentrate over year changes out here. The seasonally adjusted trucking numbers have been relatively flat, gaining just 0.3% from the fourth quarter of 2024 to the first quarter of 2025, and then easing back 0.4% in the second quarter. The story was different in the second quarter. Unadjusted intermodal volumes dropped 2.1%, but in a normal year, the second quarter is always stronger than the first quarter. Therefore, seasonal adjustments magnified the drop. The resulting market share calculations show a large 0.7% drop overall in intermodal share of the, from the first to the second quarter out there. And then, but the intermodal share for the domestic sector, domestic containers and trailers on freight car also declined in the second quarter out there. But it was not, domestic share dropped 5.9%. Wow. The lowest since 2011. No doubt the continued soft trucking conditions bear the blame on this. And I would agree, right? Like anytime the full truckload market is comparable to rail, the majority of the people will opt for full truckload, especially in those rural areas that probably when the intermodal market's down, they don't get as consistent service out there. Same thing with LTL. This is why a lot of people change modes with the market, you guys, because at the end of the day, they need their stuff picked up, right? We were talking about this yesterday with Ken. All right. At the end of the day, you guys, price is one thing, but if your shit's not getting picked up, you got to explore alternative options. And to kind of tie in what I always talk about, you guys, this is why I always got to be making sales calls. All right. So like at the end of the day, you got to be making sales calls. You got to be getting in front of people because there's a high probability that there's somebody out there not doing what they say they're going to do. So it just talks about how from 2018, 7%, just like we're talking millions of fewer loads out there. And I think like overall, they've just shifted modes. And this is something that probably will improve as the market, as the truckload sector improves and stuff like that. Again, I'm not saying it's improving in the current moment. I think that's far away from a full-on recovery or anything like that. But you'll start to see that, right? If the truckload volume, pay attention to this. All right. When truckload rates start to increase, you guys, you will see articles that say intermodal market share has grown, LTL market shares. They're going to look into that, right? Because people shift modes when markets shift, right? And whatever the most highest price one is, or if there's a comparable way to get it faster and within a similar budget, they're going to look at the full truckload and take that away from the intermodal, you guys. So this is just kind of how it works. All right. So like nothing I'm reading in this article outside of like the drop that it took since 2011, that's kind of a big deal. But other than that, though, you guys, this is very standard out there. When the market shifts, people will explore alternative shipping options out there, you guys. So again, this is why we always sell. Get out there, pick up the phone, start dialing. But that is going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I got guests coming on for the rest of the week. So you will still get to see my pretty face. So it'll just be another one on the screen with me, you guys. But that'll be it. As always, if you guys got value in what you heard, subscribe to the show, you guys. And if you're feeling really ambitious after this one, which you should be, do your boy a solid. Rank the show on iTunes and Spotify, because if you saw value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Came back with a bang. Window down, yelling out money, anything. Ayy, ooh, got the foot on the gas. Pedal to the metal when I'm getting to the back. Ayy, got the foot on the gas. Pedal to the metal when the lane moves